Greetings and welcome back to The Angry Chicken, the podcast about Hearthstone, Heroes of Warcraft. I am Garrett Weinzerl, he is Willie Dills, she is Jocelyn Moffat, and that's it. That's all there is to
it. Now you know everything you need to know.
That's it, folks. End of show. We'll see you next week for
Yep, slash show. There's nothing to talk about really this week anyway, so.
Nothing at all.
Absolutely nothing.
And we're all kind of tired. I could use a night off, you know? Look,
yeah, let's
started
just
already.
cut it now.
We've come
Let's
this
just
far.
stop.
We've come this far, but there's no reason to go any further. Go to Hearthstone subreddit if you need any information.
Yeah, exactly. This is one of, let's break the fourth wall. F it. This is one of those nights where we all got into the Skype call and we were all incredibly low energy. Now this happens from time to time, folks, and we just don't talk about it because it probably takes away from the show. But F it tonight, guys. We're gonna let you know that we're having a tough time this Monday, man.
Yeah, we're tired.
My internet still isn't fixed. Dill's is sunburnt, and it's like torture to take a shower, and Jocelyn's cat is causing all kinds of hell.
I don't even know if you can see. Like, my nose is a completely different color from the rest of my face, which is annoying. And I now I know I have to look forward. Thank you. I have to look forward to the future of peeling, which is just not something I'm happy about.
This is not something you've experienced.
No. Well, no. I mean, I know what it's like, and I don't like it. And I know it's gonna happen now, and I'm dreading it. So.
You said it. It sounded like it was a new thing. Like someone jumped me up. Peel. This sucks.
I had to Google sunburn to find out what happens. I've actually had. Have you ever had like the terrible sunburn, like the really really bad ones?
Yeah, I've got a fun story. I felt sleep on my side one time.
Oh no!
On the beach for probably 3 hours. I just passed out and I was on my side. So the back of my legs got burned. So the joint, like the back of my knee, got burnt so bad that it blistered over. I actually couldn't get out of bed for 2 days because it was so awful. If I stretched my skin in any way, shape, or form, it was like someone was skinning me alive.
See, but you live in Florida. That happened to me on vacation in Florida. So
you're
I
supposed
was
to
a
know
crispy,
better.
crispy lobster.
Yeah. And Jocelyn, you're the whitest person probably in the world. So
I know, right? I was just red everywhere.
You're
I
almost
couldn't
clear.
even sleep.
I'm surprised that you got burnt, not the sand underneath you. I one time
we lost Garrett.
I was one time at at like a house, or I don't know, it was like a party at this like big mansion-y thing in Napa, and we all stayed the night, and I planned to just go home the next day, but I woke up and everyone was having like a pool party, and I was like, oh cool, pool party, I'm in for this. But I wasn't prepared for a pool party, so I had like no sunscreen or anything. And I'm sure somebody did and I could have asked, but I just didn't think about it and just swam for like 8 hours with no sunscreen. Yeah. And my back was so bad that that my girlfriend at the time like basically had to peel my skin off of my back for me. Like it was like coming off in like handfuls. It was terrible. Like I should have gone to the hospial, probably.
That sounds very third degree-ish.
Yeah. Also, I'm surprised that relationship didn't last, man. That's the type of bond that really builds.
Yeah.
In a bond. Like,
I was a mess of that. Yeah, I think I broke my collarbone during that relationship. She was probably like, nope, I'm out of here, this guy.
Let's say once you have removed someone's skin, that's you forged a bond. But
but that was my worst. This one's nowhere near as close, but it does make me feel tired. So we'll forge our way through, though.
In closing of Sunburn Cast, wear sunscreen and buy aloe. That's all I have to.
High SPF, the better.
Yeah, had a fun run-in one time when the short stint I was working at Target. Had a gentleman come up to me, just glowing like lobster red with like a Red Sox hat on, and I'm just like, let me guess, you're on vacation, and this is your first time in the sun. He's like, yeah, where's the aloe at? I'm like, yeah, we're here. Get the blue kind.
Oh, that's actually, I got some of that. I got to reapply. Okay. Thanks for reminding me. Good work, Garrett.
No worries. Some top of the show mentions we wanted to make. Final reminder, the Florida Fireside Gathering in Orlando that I'm helping put on is this Saturday. So come on out to Canvas at the Exchange in downtown Orlando. Details can be found over at meetup.com/Florida Fireside. Our 16-player bracket for the Fireside Gathering qualifier is completely full. We have a waiting list that is growing. But we're all, everyone's welcome. Come on out, hang out. Same as last time. We're gonna just play a lot of Hearthstone, have a good time. Come on out and hang out. Starts at 2 p.m. Well, Eastern time. If you're in Florida, it's Eastern time. I shouldn't have to specify.
Are you having any sort of live anything?
Nothing streamed this time. That I know of. We were trying to secure some things that I can't talk about, and it didn't work out. So that's all there is to say about that.
Fair enough.
Yeah, geez, Jocelyn, put me on the spot.
Sorry, I didn't mean to. Trying to be nice.
Nah.
I don't know. Everyone's using, isn't it that whatever that thing is? It's like live video, but it's always
Periscope?
portrait. Yeah, that thing.
Yeah.
Can't you do that thing?
You could Periscope for sure.
We could. But it's just
But will we?
It'd just be a room of nerds playing Hearthstone. I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to do a lot of Tavern Brawls. That's what's going to be going on Saturday.
Sweet.
So, anyways, Dills, you had something to announce.
Yeah, so if you are in the Bay Area and you like playing card games, which you probably do if you listen to this show, we're going to be doing another Magic Draft at Game Night tomorrow, which is the 16th. So if you're listening to this on the podcasted version, it's probably today for you. That's because the first one was so fun, and that was all kind of because D-Day was in town, and we were going to do it kind of, he wanted to do something cool at Game Night. So the guys at Game Night had so much fun, they were like, we're going to try to make this like a monthly thing or something. So we're going to do it again. We're going to have a cap on 16 players. But right now I think we're only at like 9 or 10 or something like that who are tentatively signed up. And it's like, I think it's like $20 or something. We're going to up it a little bit so that we have like some prizes and we can give some money to the venue and things like that. But should be really cool. Everyone's guaranteed to like not only take home the cards they draft, but we're at least giving a pack to each player as well. And if you win, you get more stuff. So come on
awesome.
out. Yeah.
I want to come out.
I know, it's super fun, man. I wish if you do ever make it this way, we'll have to make sure we schedule one when you're here.
Every time you mention any of the events at Folsom Street Foundry, I just wish I lived in Northern California.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy that there's a thing like that I can actually go to. And every single time I go and like someone comes up from the show or something like that and wants to talk, it's always awesome. So if you are there, make sure you come say hello. I'm sure some people haven't, and they shouldn't do that. Always come say hello.
SF Game Night and Secret Green Day shows. That's the two big things I wish I lived in Northern California.
Those are things that are always happening around here, man.
It's
The
just
magical, wonderful land of San Francisco.
When you live in Florida, where most bands avoid because it's not a through state, it feels like it's always happening.
That's true. It's like when we were on tour, going to Florida we had to make a decision. We were like, okay, well, here's the thing. We have to drive down there, and then we have to drive back. Is this worth it? And so once we had booked, I think it was 3 shows there, we were like, all right, we'll go.
Yeah, you got to do the West Coast, East Coast thing.
We did like St. Pete and Orlando and Miami and one other place. I can't remember.
A lot of people do West Palm Beach also, which is actually on the East Coast, which is confusing.
That is confusing. All right.
But speaking of, you mentioned other card games. Did either of you notice that Bethesda is coming out with a card game based on the Elder Scrolls series, apparently?
I did not see that until I saw the notes, and I watched the trailer with no sound on, and
It's a raging Hearthstone knockoff.
oh, I'm sure it is, but I love Elder Scrolls, so I'm totally going to get into this.
Elder Scrolls too, but oh my god, this is like the giant glowing neon also ran sign. Like, I don't know. I just saw this trailer. I'm like, you're not even trying to hide it, man. Jeez. Didn't help.
I haven't watched this, but I'm gonna have to check this out. I can't start it right now, or else it'll play on the stream. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's illustrations that have been layered, and then they tilt it to make it look like it's moving and parallaxing. Like it's exactly like the Hearthstone trailer. And they didn't show any actual gameplay, so all we have to go off is this trailer that looks very much like a Hearthstone trailer. So it's just it's.
Skande in the chat room says there's a video that has that next to the Hearthstone videos.
Yep.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to see.
Well, sincerest form of flattery or whatever, right? So
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Absolutely.
probably less of a knockoff than that Chinese version or whatever.
Oh, you mean the carbon copy?
Yeah, the exact same thing.
Yes, that is true. That is true. When you literally copy the code and change a couple letters here and there, yeah, that's not saying much.
But this will be cool. I'll probably play a little bit. It's free to play, right?
I will absolutely try it. I absolutely will. I'm not the world's biggest Elder Scrolls fan, but I thoroughly enjoyed Skyrim, so I'll take it for a spin.
I'm such a huge Elder Scrolls fan.
I know she likes it way too much.
I do.
Okay. How are you still playing Elder Scrolls Online?
A little bit, yeah, off and on.
Like you'll actually log in and go do it? Okay.
Yeah.
How, is it like what's it like now? Is it like better or?
It's actually kind of more like Skyrim because there's nobody else playing anymore,
Yeah.
so I'm just always
So
by
now it's just a
myself.
solo game? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the problem with when you get these big MMO, like a company comes out and they're like, we're gonna make this MMO, it's gonna be great. And then if it doesn't work, then suddenly you're like dealing with a ghost town. Like the game has to be so good on its own. Like Star Wars is still playable very much because it's kind of like a first person, it's kind of like just like a solo game anyway.
And
All the quests and everything like that. But a game like Elder Scrolls, I was like, you have to be able to play this with other people. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, I still enjoy the experience. I always have enjoyed it. It's just that I'm enjoying WoW so much more, and I've now found something that I'm just grinding the shit out of, and I have to do every single day. So now that I've found that thing that I like to do and grind in WoW, now I'm just like, well, why would I do anything other than WoW?
It's refreshing to hear somebody say that, Jocelyn, because that hasn't been the way things have been going for World of Warcraft these days.
But see, the thing is, and I don't want to go too far into the Warcraft, black hole, but
Well, this is
my first expansion where I've actually like started it
With
like
everybody
day one
and was
at
yeah.
max level and everything else. So like I felt like I really found my thing, PvP, and I'm in Ashran like every single day. I'm getting really close to my Warlord of Draenor title. I'm super stoked,
Nice.
and I'm having so much fun.
That's what, like, on the instance, we're at the point now where we're just talking about all the games because, like, Warcraft has become, I don't know, I think the game is still amazing. And obviously, like, it sprouted Hearthstone, like, the whole thing of, like, having all the heroes come straight from World of Warcraft is awesome and makes me want to get back in all the time. But there's been a lot of negativity around it right now. So it's nice to hear someone say that they're loving it.
Oh, I love it
Thanks.
so much. I played like literally 12 hours of it on Saturday. I woke up and I just played Warcraft for like 12 hours, just
Yeah.
Ashran.
I haven't done that since college.
Yeah, you're like me from 6 years ago.
Oh, I miss those days so much.
I kind of do too. Now I think I want to do that.
Right?
All right,
It was
now
so
we're
much
in the
fun.
show, and we're gonna go play Warcraft. Everyone, tune into Dill's stream to watch at least me suck because I haven't. So it'll be fun. Anyways, there is quite a bit of Hearthstone stuff to discuss, so let's start discussing that stuff in this week's Hearthstone news.
Good news, everyone!
Obviously, the big news this week, folks, is we can assign card backs to decks.
Big news.
Yeah, that's I'm actually really excited about that. It's just
That
not
is
the
cool.
is the joke is that is not the biggest news from the new patch. The biggest news is that Tavern Brawl is coming. We thought it was coming today because the patch went live, but it apparently is actually going live tomorrow, at least for those of us here in the
Wednesday.
Oh, sorry, Wednesday. By the time when you're listening to this in podcast form, it
That'll
will
be tomorrow. Yes.
You're breaking the fourth wall again. Podcast listeners, it's Tuesday for them. It's Tuesday.
They're living in the future. I wonder what it's like. Flying cars and stuff.
Yeah, give me some Huey Lewis in the news, and we're going to make a couple Back to the Future jokes, and this will all come full circle. But yeah, no, Tavern Brawl is the big deal right now. Last week we talked about the teased extra new button being added, taking that fourth slot, and now we know what it is. It's Tavern Brawl.
Tavern Brawl.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm just going to come right out and say it was. As soon as they announced it, I was excited. So there.
Yeah. If somehow you missed it, each week a different Tavern Brawl will pit you head-to-head versus another player using exciting and unique rules. One week might feature preset decks, while another week could have you crafting a brand new Tavern Brawl deck following specific guidelines, while others might offer buffs to specific minion types. From Blizzard, quote, "Who knows?" So you're also going to have to be level 20 to jump in to do Tavern Brawl. So just keep that in mind. If you're new to the game, there is a level requirement for admission. So that said, so Jocelyn, you were super stoked about this.
I was. This looks like so much fun to me. I mean, it's exactly what I want because I've been just playing ladder for months now. And I've tried to go into arena and I can't get into arena. I'm no good at it. Like every single time I go like 1-3 or 0-3 and I'm just like, then I open my packs and I get 4 commons and a rare and I'm just like, table flip. So I don't know. I'm just like, I need something in Hearthstone, and I used to do it with random decks, but now I'm out of deck slots, which now I understand the raging over the deck slots. But I used to do it with random decks, but then you need, like friends to play with and all that kind of stuff. So I'm really, really, really looking forward to a mode that I can go into and it's just fun. It's like, it doesn't follow the rules. It's different every week. I can play against random people. I can play against my friends. Like, I'm just so stoked to go into Hearthstone and just have fun. And everyone's on the same level playing field. Like, whatever the rules are, they're all the same. It's not like Arena where, I can go up against somebody who had like the stupid, ridiculous, like got a perfect handlock deck or some stupidness.
Pushing up my glasses. I'm pushing up my glasses, Jocelyn. They did say that you're going to, in some cases, you'll be crafting your own deck. So everyone will not be on the same field.
Well, that is true.
I'm the same rules, though.
Yeah, same rules.
They'll have to follow whatever weird rules that they set up.
Yeah. So, I mean, Jocelyn, if it's you versus the other 1% of Hearthstone, you'll all be on the same playing field.
That's true. Stop calling me the 1%, you hero buyer.
Never. Oh, don't you throw that in my face.
That's right in your face.
Soon. We're getting to that later. You can throw that in my face.
It's Hunter, too, so dude, it's right in your face.
Oh, I'm playing mid-brain.
It only sees face. And it goes there.
Face has taunt.
Should have just like made it some type of cow or bull or Torrens, because it just sees red and just goes right for the hero.
So I mean, I'm really excited for a mode that's like just for fun. I mean, it's free too, so I don't have to worry about like grinding gold to be able to do it. Like, I'm so stoked for this, and I really, really, really love the idea that you can challenge your friends, because that opens it up to Tavern Brawl tournaments. I know there's not technically a tournament mode, but you can run a tournament just the same way as everyone has been running tournaments, and you can have stupid, crazy, fun rules. I am totally going to get my unstable portal deck Tavern Brawl tournament. How can you not be excited for that?
You hope you'll get that. Blizzard has to do it, though.
Oh, they're totally going to do it.
Well, yeah.
You are making a huge leap in logic there.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think that it's going to be super fun, and I'm happy that there's a new mode that's going to be super fun, but I have to admit that I am disappointed, because what I wanted was something that I think is actually way better, and now I don't get to have that. So, it's like if you knew you were going to get a bike for Christmas or whatever, and then like your mom's like, here's like this toy,
socks.
Here's Tickle Me Elmo, and you're like, oh cool, Tickle Me Elmo is fun, but it's not a bicycle. So, that's kind of where I'm at. And I'm totally not against this mode, and I think this mode is going to be fantastic, and I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to play it all the time. But it's just hard when you like wanted tournament mode, and tournament mode was going to rule. And some of this stuff could have been part of that. Like, you could have had custom rules that you get to make yourself as part of tournament mode, but that's not what we got. So anyway.
No, but I still think that that's kind of the direction that it's taking. And I think that Tavern Brawls is it's opening Hearthstone up to be a little bit more flexible. Like, up until now, we've just had these two modes that have just been so structured. This just seems like so much potential. And yeah, I'm so super excited. I had another point and I totally just lost it. Come back to me.
We're so excited. I don't want to go into why I am not so excited about this, because like,
but I think you have to.
I don't want
to.
I remember.
I don't want them. I don't want to deal with the emails this week that tell me that I am a dick to Jocelyn. I'm sick of reading them.
Well, you can say you don't like it without like telling Jocelyn she's wrong to be excited. Like, that's possible.
Exactly.
You don't understand how these people brain work. If I disagree with you, or if I don't have the same opinion as you or Jocelyn, and this works,
you meanie. Why can't you just agree with everything I say, dude?
And this works for the two of us as well, then I am actually actively attacking your fun opinion, as opposed to just having my own opinion, which isn't the same as yours, which is a much more sane way to look at the world. But yeah, I am a beaten puppy this week.
So what I was going to say is that a new type of play mode is really exciting. I think what we're going to end up seeing is tournament mode be a little bit more overarching as opposed to that fourth button. I think it's going to be like tournament mode is up here, and once you pick like tournament mode, then you'll be able to choose from like constructed arena or Brawl. Like, I think it's going to be one level up when we first launch the game, sort of thing.
Well, that would be cool.
That's what I think that they're
Yeah.
probably
Like, so
heading
there's-
into. And
There's a couple of things like that that I agree with you 100%, Jocelyn. I think that that's actually, if that's what ends up happening, then like this was just the right time to introduce this before tournament mode, right?
yeah,
But I don't have as much faith, I guess, that that's
No.
exactly the direction that it's going to go in. Like, I feel like the game itself would benefit more from people being able to play tournaments right now, and this will be fun, and this is something that will be super fun for casual players. So I can't really put myself in their shoes and say that that's what everybody wants. But I think that the game, I don't know. I just think that a lobby where you can play a little mini tournament and just have more things to do would just be really, really cool. So I'm disappointed. Now, Garrett, crap all over everything.
no, wait, don't crap all
Oh,
over
no,
everything.
okay,
'Cause
Jocelyn
I
has
wanted
to
to,
sunshine more. Okay.
what I was gonna say, because you brought up the whole how like for it's good for casual players, and I mean like last season I ended up just rank 6, and I got a little message that popped up that said congratulations, you're in the top 3% of players. So I mean like the majority of Hearthstone players are, casual players. They're way down
Absolutely.
there in, like 25 to 15 type range. So it makes complete and utter sense to me that Blizzard would try to make a mode that appeals to more casual players. Not to mention, they've also said that this mode is going to give classic packs, not expansion packs. So again, like it's free, it's accessible, rewards packs that are classic ones. Like, it's the perfect get into Hearthstone for newer casual players. So I think it's perfect. We get so many emails that are saying like, how do I can't grind enough gold to get arena. How am I supposed to get packs? Where do I start? What do I do? And what do? You Tavern Brawl.
Sure.
Well, thanks for taking the positive thing I was gonna bring up at the end of my less than enthused rant, thanks, Jocelyn, because I was gonna bring it is amazing. This, I mean, take the thing I've been trying to do and like meter in my is come to grips with the fact that I'm kind of in the same boat as Dills, but I'm just trying to be more. I don't know. I'm not to say you're not self-aware, Dills. I'm trying to be more self-aware of myself. And be like, I was so excited and I was so sure that this was going to be something that brought more to the competitive scene because of people glitching out into these tournament screens. That when this was announced, it was just so off base of what I was expecting that I was disappointed. But I also I have to sit here and just be like, well, I'm not entitled. Like, they're not making this game specifically for Garrett. Like, they shouldn't necessarily.
Wait, I've been under the impression for the last like year and a half that this game is just for you.
Oh, I know, me too.
You should have known when Crackle came along that wasn't the case, Garrett. That should have been your first clue. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a way to come back to that. I've got nothing. I hate that card with every bone in my body. But yeah, I don't know. It's just I don't know. Like I said, I'm excited. I think it'll be fun, and I'm looking forward to it. But I don't think it's going. I think I'm gonna play one a week and then be like, cool, and then continue on enjoying the same Hearthstone I've enjoyed for the last year, which is an amazing game. I'm just ready for something new, and this is not what I'm ready for.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm similar to you, where I'll play it, I'll stream it or something like that, and I'll like do whatever the current thing is. But I don't think I'm going to spend very much time, definitely not the majority of my time in Tavern Brawl. Now, I could be totally wrong. It could be so damn fun that I can't help myself but only do that, and that's definitely possible. But I think highly unlikely. I do think though that Jocelyn makes a really good point about newer players, because if you're sick of ladder, or if you feel like ladder is something that you can't really progress in, or oh, everyone's just got better cards than me or whatever, maybe this will be a little bit more friendly to you as a player. So having another mode that's more friendly is, I think, a fine thing, a totally fine thing, and should be in the game. But yeah, I just it's like Garrett said, it's tough to like meter your expectations when you think that something is going to be a better feature, and then you get something that you think is not as good of a feature, right? And that's really
And
where
we were
our
so
disappointment
sure.
comes from. Yeah.
We were so sure.
Yeah.
I mean, look, whether I was short, like, I've been wrong plenty of times about what the feature was going to be, but I think the problem for me was that this was just such a step back from even like close to, like, it would have been something totally different, but something I hadn't even thought of or something like that would have been amazing. But this just kind of seems like, all right, we've got like, ladder, we've got arena, and then we've got super casual mode, and that's kind of what it's like being packaged as almost. So I don't know if I'm ready for super casual mode. I don't think that's what it's not what I wanted.
See, you say that, but every single time when we stream together on Fridays or Saturday nights, at some point in the night we go, okay, you know
decks,
what? Let's just play random decks. And I feel like this is going to be the new, like, you know what? I don't want a ladder anymore. Whatever. Let's
brawl.
Let's brawl. Yeah.
Sure. No, I can see that happening as well. And we don't know at all what the challenges are going to be yet. So until we actually see them and the first Tavern Brawl challenge comes out, we can't really give
Portals.
we can't give like that would just be blowing your wad too early to do that as the first week, right? You can't do that. It's got to be something different. But by the way, did you guys see like the data mined list of like cards and stuff that are going to be part of some of the Tavern Brawl stuff? No? Okay.
I saw it like 2 seconds before the show.
It's on Hearthpwn, right?
Yeah, it's on Hearthpwn.com. Yeah, it's very top thing is that they've got these data mined. Just some absolutely insane things. We've got a 50 mana card called Golmag that's 20/20 and costs 1 less for each damage your hero has taken.
Which I'm kind of confused about.
Yeah.
How does that work? Unless you have heroes with more than 30 health?
It's Tavern Brawl, man. Literally anything.
Exactly. This is the thing. This is why I'm so excited. Is we're just like, wait, what? How could you even? You can because Brawl. Like this is going to be so much fun.
I have to say, I am really relieved, Dills, at your reaction because I was so certain I was going to come today being the only person pooping.
Who didn't like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think you're in the same boat as me. That it's not like you don't like it, because a lot of people might listen to the show and be like, "Oh, they hate it."
Yeah. Chat room. I feel like I don't want to backpedal, but I want to like maybe clear the air a little bit. Like I'm gonna play the shit out of this, and I'm probably gonna love it. And I can't really give you an honest opinion yet because I haven't had the chance to play it, so I don't know. And only after weeks upon weeks upon weeks of seeing Tavern Brawl rule after Tavern Brawl rule come up, I just said Brawl rule instead of Brawl. Am I going to have a real good solid opinion on whether I love or this is as kind of unenthused as I currently feel about it? But I think I'm going to have a blast with this. I just think I was looking for something that was going to kind of satiate the hardcore Hearthstone player in me, and instead I feel like I got the most casual like casual mode of Mario Kart ever.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, I do understand wanting more hardcore tools available to you, but at the same time, because we've been missing a tournament mode for so long, the really hardcore players, all the tournament organizers, like everyone's kind of figured out how to do it. The community's built their own tools. They've made use of things that are available for other esports. So it's not necessarily like, yes, it would be a convenience. Yes, I want to see it. Yes, I was hoping it was going to come in this patch, but it's not the worst thing to not have it, because we've already kind of done it. We've figured it out as a community. So
no, we have not.
Okay, Garrett, did you just snap your fingers at me?
Not if we want literally any other format, because you can't do any other format unless Blizzard gives us the tools, and they're not giving us the tools.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, in terms of being hardcore, running a tournament, running a constructed tournament, we have the tools to do that right now. Right. Even as I ran the taco tournament. Even just casual people, anyone can set up a Hearthstone tournament right now. It's a bit of a pain in the ass, but it's doable.
Yeah, I do think though that so think about Magic's tournament scene right now, where you can I watched the Grand Prix that just happened, the Charlotte Grand Prix stuff, and it was Masters, and then there was a standard format, and then there was some there was just a million different things going on, right? And all of them were totally available because you just have physical cards. You can just do whatever you want, right? So I think if you were able to give the Hearthstone community a sandbox tournament mode, we would come up with all sorts of cool formats, and that would be really beneficial to the scene. So Garrett's right. We don't have all the tools to just do whatever we want with tournaments. But Jocelyn, you're also right that we've got it figured out as far as doing this one thing that we can do in the game. But until there's more things to do, this game will start to feel stale to people eventually. And I've had plenty of times where the game feels very stale. and I don't know if Tavern Brawl is going to unstale it in those given moments. I know for me, I love the game so much that it's fine. I come back and I'm good to go again after a small break. That might not be the case for everybody, and more ways to play is always going to be beneficial. So I just hope that that's where we end up at some point. I understand it's not now, it's not today, it's not tomorrow, but please, at some point, give us all this stuff.
The one thing I do kind of wish that they did have with Tavern Brawl was the ability to kind of like go back or like apply previous rules or something.
Yeah, once
like
they're gone, they said they're going to be gone.
Once they're gone, they're gone. Yeah, and that's kind of unfortunate because it would be really cool, especially if they have some set of rules that's really fun, like the unstable portals or web spinner decks or whatever. Something that's like infinitely repeatable, never the same, all that kind of stuff. It'd be really, really neat to be able to kind of accumulate those rule sets and then be able to choose from them and stuff like that. But
I think, I'm not sure which I like more, because it's a little cool that it has this sense of
like you should play it now, or
it's finite.
Yeah.
You've got a week to do what.
Well, yeah, it's going to get people logging in and trying it every single week.
Sure.
That's
Right,
true.
right. So I don't know. I almost like it. I absolutely think it would be great if we could have the option. But then my brain immediately dives into, oh my God, what would a system like that look for? Would we have the world's longest drop-down menu?
Yeah,
That's
it
true.
would be.
Yeah,
a little
it would be
awkward
fine for the first like 4 weeks.
But if they do eventually give us this sandbox mode, then like we would be able to recreate some of these things, you know. Like, 'cause I
Yeah,
do
true.
envision one day having some sort of a sandbox mode where you can just throw the rules out if you want and play it however you like, and then you still got obviously like the competitive ladder will be essentially what standard is right now, right? Which is, or I guess I don't even know if it would be standard unless they actually do like limit the cards, but it would be like the kind of that would still I think always be the way that people kind of determine who's best, right? But then when you want to do something else, you have the ability to do it. I just really hope that they're, at least, because sometimes when they give responses, I'm like, are they responsive? Like, are they willing to do things like this for us? I can't tell. I can't tell
Well,
where their
and-
head's at around all that kind of stuff, you know?
Yeah, and that was kind of my point when Garrett and I first started talking about it when this was first announced, is I was just like, to me, this screams like first step towards like a sandbox mode. It's like we've had such stringent rules for so long around how to play Hearthstone, and then all of a sudden they're just like, you know what? We're going to do fun things. We're going to give you 100 health heroes. We're going to give you unlimited mana, like just stupid, crazy stuff, which is clearly the kind of tools that they have available to themselves on like the back end of Hearthstone. And I feel like if people are into this and if it's successful, then it might be the kind of thing that opens up eventually. And they use this as a sandbox tournament type mode. But we have to play it. We have to get excited. Come on, people, brawl.
I'm excited. I'm just,
Yes!
you know, it's fine. I can be excited, but I can also be disappointed.
I think
totally-
I think this just diverted into like a deeper discussion than just Tavern. Like it's not even just about Tavern Brawl anymore. It's just about all the other things we'd like to see from the game.
the future of the game, which we
Yeah.
kind of have a stake in because this show, the health of this show, largely depends on this game still being a viable game that a lot of people play, right? So we all are a little bit more concerned probably than your average, like your average Hearthstone player, because like, yeah, if I think the game sucks, I just stop playing it, But for us, if we're like, damn it, the game sucks, the show's over, forget it, it's all over, back to work. Like,
To distance myself from your comment, I do not think the game sucks.
no. I know. I'm not saying like that it
Everyone
sucks.
back away
Yeah.
from Dills. Make
Yes.
sure Blizzard knows that we don't agree.
But
I really like that Blizzard wants to come on our show and talk about the game, so I don't.
yeah. But yeah, like we're also though an independent, and this is the beauty of podcasting. We're also completely independent. We can say what we want. We can have opinions about this game that are our own and have nothing to do with making money from, like, Blizzard doesn't pay us a dime. So I can tell you that Tavern Brawl is disappointing, right? And that's just my feeling, like, as a person who plays the game, and I think it's okay to be disappointed. It's okay to be excited, but we really want the game to be successful and good. And I think there's a lot of things the game needs. That's all.
Fair enough.
Stepping off my soapbox now.
We need to move along because there's a lot of other stuff to talk about.
Sure.
Man, one of these weeks we need to just, I think, set aside time just to talk about what we would like to see from tournament mode.
Sure. Yeah, I got some ideas.
Yeah.
We can write an email to ourselves.
Exactly.
There
Done.
you go.
Done.
Perfect.
Done. We'll wait for a slow news week, which might be next week.
Yeah.
I have a
I
feeling
can't
that
imagine. Yeah, this
We've
is a
got
lot.
more heroes coming though, so we'll at least have that.
All right.
not a whole lot.
Segue, Garrett.
I mean-
Segue.
Yeah, we did get some new heroes this week. Well, we got all of them. Technically, we got new heroes, period, because we never got any of them to begin with. But we had 2 more announced, and then also today, all 3 of them went live. So Muradin, we talked about last week, but also Illyria Windrunner for an alternate hunter hero, and then Medivh, or Medivh, apparently. I've said Medivh in my head for so long. I can see Jocelyn there. So everyone thinks I'm so mean to Jocelyn. Jocelyn's mean to me. She just doesn't say it. She mouths it in the camera, and then if you're not watching YouTube, you don't see it.
Jocelyn's mean, confirmed right here.
Hashtag Jospoli.
Yeah, or and it's Medivh for mage.
It's Medivh, yeah, but that's
Yeah.
fine. You can say what. Yeah, again, different pronunciations are acceptable.
Yeah, just you say things in your own head for so long.
Yeah,
It's hard.
Well,
Yeah, and
so
it's-
Patrick
it's
apparently
Magni,
says.
not Muradin.
Patrick apparently says Cho'Gao.
Oh, it is Magni, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, Magni. Yes.
That shows how much I care
Too
about.
many dwarves.
I'm racist towards dwarves. They all look the same.
I do.
Even the women.
It's the beards.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. So an elf was announced. So naturally, I bought it.
Obviously.
Bought the elf immediately.
I was so surprised that it was Illyria because she hasn't been in since I guess
Warcraft
Warcraft
3.
2
Literally
or
has
3.
such show,
Two?
like
Yeah, maybe 2.
she is classified under WoW Wiki as whereabouts unknown.
Yep.
Well, she is because they went through the portal and then Draenor exploded and they jumped into the Twisting Nether and then yeah.
Well, apparently they got back out of the Nether and headed back towards Netherguard Keep, but that was the last anyone ever heard of.
Yeah, and then they're not there in Warcraft. So
Right.
where the hell did they go?
It's
And-
very confusing, but whatever. Sylvanas' sister, down. I'll buy it. Done.
I just think that Valyra is a bigger character, but that could also be because I was wrong. I picked the wrong Windrunner sister, and now I'm all bitter.
The title of this week's episode will just be something about being bitter. Because
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm in such a mood this week, guys.
Jules and I are
Sorry.
bitter because we really thought it was going to be tournament mode. You're bitter because you picked the wrong Windrunner sister.
Oh, the Lord nerd in me is just so disappointed.
Oh, so many nerd points lost tonight.
I
So
know.
wait, who would you have picked, Jocelyn? You're saying
Valyra.
Okay.
She's or Varisa. Sorry. Duh,
Varisa,
see,
yeah.
I'm-
I was like,
yeah.
wait, Valyra's already a thing.
I know.
Varisa, got it. Okay.
Varisa. Yeah.
Varisa, okay.
Oh my god, so bad.
We forgive you, Jocelyn.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
just
fine,
kick me off the show now. That's
I-
lore is what I contribute, and I can't even do that tonight. So
Should be a
just
lot
give up now.
But yeah. Jeez.
But no, Varisa, because she's married to Ronan. She's got the super powerful kids because they're like half high elf, half mage. Like,
Yeah. Now in keep, I bought Illyria for the betterment of the show. Okay, this was research.
Ah,
Sure.
got it. You're gonna
Sure,
write
sure.
this off then.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
I sent my taxes in today, June
Mhm.
15th. Sent in my taxes, and the purchase of Illyria was on there,
yeah,
or Illyria. It's Illyria, isn't it?
Illyria, yeah.
I'm terrible at pronouncing things that are actually written in front of me, so don't feel so bad, Jocelyn, about forgetting fictional characters.
So what is your takeaway after purchasing Illyria? Are you happy with your purchase?
They're
10 bucks
super
well
shiny.
spent?
I gotta say, they are really cool.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
are.
you gotta play some hunted then, huh?
Well, I've been playing Hunter
Oh, okay.
almost exclusively. I have like a over 70% win rate with mid-range Hunter at the moment.
Nice.
So
Okay.
Nice.
See,
I'm happy.
I feel like that's kind of the wheelhouse of someone who's going to buy one of these. Is if they're like, if you're Kit Kats, you're going to buy the warrior hero, right? Because that's all you do is you play warrior, and
Yep.
that's fine. And there's a lot of people who just play. Like if you're Zed a lot, you're going to buy whatever the priest thing is, right? And you're going to play that. I play kind of all over the place, so unless I was going to buy all of them, I'm just not going to buy any of them. That's kind of.
I think that probably because they each have individual card backs, I will probably buy them all.
Oh wow.
But I'm kind of waiting just to see what happens. I don't know. I want to see who else they announce, what the card backs look like. I do really, really like the Hunter card back. I think the Illyria's card back is really, really cool. I played against a Hunter who had the hero and had the card back, and it looks pretty freaking sweet because they also have like the custom like plate around the hero, which is why you also don't see gold there. If you have the golden version, you see like the custom hero border thing. And it just all looks so cool.
Yeah, it's nice little touches, and the artist in me just loves this to pieces. I really do. Like I still think $9.99 is a little much, but I love all. There's just so many. This is just so many little touches, and they're all really nice touches, and it's polished to hell and back because it's Blizzard and because it's pretty much just 2D art. But
yeah,
the one thing that's kind of weird, and I'm wondering, Garrett, you'll probably have to tell us when you go up against like another Hunter who has purchased the portrait, but I played against Illyria, and I couldn't see when she used her hero power any of the animation that comes with it. And I played against Muradin as well, and couldn't see the hammer.
that seems like a glitch.
So
Yeah,
I'm wondering if it's a glitch, or I'm wondering if it's just because I haven't bought those heroes, I can't see them. Like, I'm wondering if you go up against another Illyria where you've bought Illyria, if you'll be able to see the animation because it'll be like unlocked for you. Do you know what I mean?
I sincerely hope that isn't the case because I want to be showing off my swag.
Yeah, you want the opponent seeing this too, right? That's part of the deal.
Yeah.
Sick new exhaust on my car and no one but me being able to hear it.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to go with like the cool lights underneath or something.
Same thing. Same exact.
Yeah.
I put neons on my undercarriage. I want everyone to see it but me. Also, I'm sitting in my car. I should be the only one who can't see it. Yeah, no, I want my swag to be in everyone's grill. Come on. That couldn't have sounded whiter.
Yeah, that was terrible.
No, I'm proud of myself, damn it. I am not a cool person.
We also had a tweet or an email, I can't remember, that was saying that Medivh doesn't actually, like when you mirror image, you use the mirror image card and it still looks like Jaina. And they were just like, why doesn't my mirror image look like Medivh? And I was like, well, that would change the whole card. That would be super cool and like a great little like Easter egg kind of thing. But yeah, they were upset that their cards didn't change either.
Speaking of Easter eggs, apparently there is an interaction if you are Illyria and Sylvanas is played. I haven't seen it yet, and I don't want to look it up. I want to have it happen naturally. I just want to be surprised, but apparently there is a custom interaction between Illyria and Sylvanas.
You haven't seen
wonder what it would
Sylvanas yet playing?
I haven't logged a lot of games today since this went live.
That's true.
Bill.
Yeah, it's just.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm just like that card is in everything.
Try harder, Garrett.
I mean, I should be playing the game while I'm trying to podcast.
Well,
but-
if you're, but also if you're playing Hunter, you might just be crushing them before they ever get a chance to play it on turn 6.
What a beautiful game today that I didn't feel like I should have against a Control Warrior. Oh, it was beautiful. I even had one of those brawl happened where their Armorsmith lived and my Dr. Boom 2 bots and something else didn't, and I still won the game.
Wow.
That happened. I was just like, I should probably concede, but let's see how this plays out. I won. Felt so good. See, I still love this game. Do not let my my devil's advocate this.
I think people understand. Like when we're disappointed in something, we're not disappointed in the game. We're just disappointed in the thing.
Yeah. It's more. I'm disappointed about something I didn't get, not about the thing I
Exactly.
get.
Like I'm disappointed about these heroes, but apparently everybody's on board again. Like I'm just so I can't
It's
justify
funny how
$90. Like
as soon as they were released, I saw all kinds of people on Twitter being like, "Oh, I just bought Illyria. I just bought Medivh."
yeah.
And I was just like, "You were raging a week ago, but now it's just like, oh, but they're shiny, and I can just push a button, and I don't even have to put in my credit card anymore because Blizzard just knows all
They
the
know our
things."
sweet spots, and they know they like shiny stuff.
This is the point I'm trying to make. You shouldn't listen to anything I ever say because I'm always wrong and I never stick to my guns.
I still find it
people not to
amazing
listen
that
to the podcast, Gary. Don't do that.
You can read into that however you may. To me, I personally take a lot of pleasure in listening to people on the internet be wrong.
Sure.
It's entertaining. Just completely has nothing to do with the news at hand. I am having a really good time playing Hunter right now.
good.
It's a new feeling for me.
Yeah. Well, Face Hunter's kind of gone away, honestly.
I mean, that's definitely a huge reasons.
And mid-range hunter is, I think, a very cool kind of interesting deck that has. It's a fair deck, you know. It's not just going to outright destroy you or outright lose because it didn't draw whatever or a single sludge belcher went down. You're going to have interesting back and forth games, and that's a healthy way to play this game, I think. So
I feel like I'm playing with Batman's utility belt. Like there's just so many little.
There's a lot of stuff to do, yeah. And there's a lot of like turns where you can make a mistake and then lose the game. Whereas if you think about Zoo or Face Hunter, I think a lot of people didn't like it because it felt like you could make a mistake and still win because the deck just blew you out.
Yeah.
Whereas with mid-range Hunter, if you don't, if you don't drop Savannah Hyman when you can, you may never get to drop her. You know what I mean? So there's interesting plays. So.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. Everyone should play it.
But I'm still on board, by the way. Let me just put this out there before we move on. That I'm still on board with not buying any of these heroes. I just can't
but you
justify
haven't seen the last
$90.
six. You
well, I know, but I'm saying that I can't in my own head justify spending $90 on these, and I probably won't just one of them. Like I'm gonna predict that not a single one of these comes along and I go, well, I want that one only. Like I'm gonna be like, I want all of them.
You want them all, yeah.
I find that so
I
strange.
still think we're gonna get a bundle at some point.
Yeah.
There's not a single like Warcraft character you're just a huge fan of.
No,
Dills is not a lore guy.
I'm a fan of the game. I'm a fan of, but like really, like okay, let's say they made it so I could buy Dills the Hunter and make him the hunter hero.
That would be so. That was something that was brought up a lot. Yeah, like right when Hearthstone first started, it was like, why can't I have my Warcraft character in Hearthstone?
I'm a fan of putting my character as my hero for sure, but
that would be really cool.
But I just when I think about things that I need to use $90 for. There's a lot of like real world things going on that I have to kind of, you know what I mean?
When you put it that way.
Yeah, like I got bills, man. I don't have $90 just chilling. It's kind of like why I never got more tattoos. Like I always wanted more tattoos, and I was like, I just don't have $300 I can plop down on this thing that just goes on my arm, and then whatever, It's like I gotta buy food first. I gotta put food on my family.
Food is so overrated.
Dills' new podcast, by the way, is called Dills Has Bills.
Dills Has Bills.
Every episode is a topic of something that he refuses to spend money on because he has.
Because I got to put food on my family, Garrett. Like I said.
Food on your family?
Yeah. Jocelyn, you don't get it because you're not American.
Not sure family's appreciating that. Hey, we like the food, Dills. If you did not put it on us, we would really appreciate it. Thanks. I appreciate Ben Brode talking about bad Hearthstone cards.
Yeah, this was cool.
Yeah. This is something your paying bills doesn't affect, which is nice. Crip posted a video recently talking about bad cards, and Ben Brode sent a reply video,
which is so awesome,
in his next video. And damn, if this isn't one of the most refreshing things I've watched from the Hearthstone community in a while.
And
it even had like, was it a couch or a bed or something in the background? Like it was so like, it was literally like Ben Brode was like, I can't even wait to get to work, guys. Like I need to do this now.
Wow. Yeah. No, and Jocelyn, you were name dropped.
Yeah, I know. My Twitter exploded. It was fantastic.
Like listening to a time capsule of your opinions.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. I was like, when someone said, "Oh, he talked about the angry chicken or something," I was like, "Oh, I wonder what he mentioned." And brought up, I was like, "Eye for an eye." This is like this is so long ago that this is just now like a meme for us. At this point.
It is, and that's kind of because a couple people were just like, "Oh, you got called out. You got called out." I'm like, Jocelyn from episode 2 got called out. Like,
yeah. But that's actually why he called you out is because of the evolution of opinions on cards and why cards are good or bad, and that's like he made a really good point.
It was a fantastic point, and it was all about how having these terrible cards but making them look good, then you get new players coming in, and it actually it's like a teaching tool having these cards in the game, because then you play it and it never quite works, and you have to figure out why, and the figuring out why is part of learning card advantage and mana curves and all this kind of stuff is hinges on some of these terrible cards and playing that eye for an eye and have it just not work over and over and over. So no, it was a really, really great point. So, and I mean, So awesome.
I actually remember one time I was going through like my old Twitch videos when they were saying they're going to take away the VODs. You know, you remember this? This was a while ago too. So I was going through and I was like, are any of these things worth it that I should, check to save or whatever? And one of the VODs was my first time ever doing Arena. I was like, oh, let's watch this real quick. So I pop it on, and I am horribly overvaluing taunt. I have like no idea, like removal. Like I'm like, what is this? I don't need this. I just need more dudes to play. And it's like all of my opinions of the cards were so terrible, but it was just really cool to see, that's you when you're a new player. When you look at cards, you have no frame of reference. You're just evaluating. Like maybe you played Magic, you can evaluate that way, but probably you didn't. Most people probably didn't. And now they're looking at it and they're going, oh, look at this Lord of the Arena. This is amazing. Oh my God. He'll never hit my face again,
It's called Lord of the Arena.
Yeah.
Which
Be the best.
Yeah. Which actually then I sometimes go back to cards, Like I remember Raging Worgen I thought was like the best card ever. Then I was like, this card is actually not that good. It's just a 3/3 essentially. But then I was like, wait a minute, there's actually a lot of cases where it wins the game. It's okay again. Like it's, and like Lord of the Arena is actually fine. It is often times a 2-for-1 in Arena. So it's, it's weird, but everything kind of comes from a place of just looking at them, making an assumption, and then finding out through play if that assumption is correct or not. And that evolution has to happen for you to then kind of feel like, oh, I'm a good player now,
And I still love Eye for an Eye, just for the nostalgia factor and the flavor of the card. It's like, oh, you think you're going to hit my face? Well, guess what? That's going to go to your face, mister.
Well, it's it's your signature card now at this point.
Yeah, exactly. And it's
that and Demolisher.
I just love it. The fans love it. It's this huge tack meme now. And I remember it was like, I was still in beta. There weren't many people playing, and I was trying out Arena. It was literally like my first, maybe second time in Arena, and I happened to come up against Trump. I was on his stream. I played Eye for an Eye, and he called me adorable, and I was just like, done. Like, this is now my favorite card of life. So, you know what?
Yeah,
I'm
fine.
sticking
And you're
to
going to
it.
like bad cards, like Ben Bro talked about Magma Rager and stuff.
Exactly.
Well,
I like it. I don't play it.
Every
but I
card
like
can't be good. It's also impossible for every card to be good, which he brings up and is a true statement.
Yes.
But man, the whole time I was watching Ben Brode's reaction, I'm just like, man, it can't get better than this. And then Cripps retorts to Ben Brode's video. I'm like, wow, this is better. This is even better. This is like very true SmackDown. I loved it. Like the part that really made me laugh was his retort on his Dormu, which Ben Bro's like, oh yeah, everyone thinks it's a bad card, but it's good because it can blow your mind. You see it and you think anything can happen in this game. And Crip was just like, yeah, that'd be great if I ever actually saw it.
Yeah.
Bloom, I'd like to have my mind blown, but no one plays the card because it's terrible.
Well, there is situations where things can't happen because these cards exist. So the fact that they've got things like Sneed's Old Shredder in the game allows like Nose Dormu to pop out of it every now and then, right? So, and I don't know if you guys remember the life coach playing a match and Nose Dormu pops out and he actually makes a bad play because he just needs it off the board so he can stop and think. That kind of stuff wouldn't happen without some of these cards that.
Oh no, absolutely. The fact that we have these cards with these RNG aspects makes every card that exists matter and gives weight to it, regardless of how great or terrible they may be.
Yeah.
There's I think one of the coolest things about RNG in this game.
Yeah.
It gets a bad rap a lot, but that is an incredibly unique aspect of Hearthstone.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think with almost every card, you can argue a scenario where it can be good, right? And what really makes it bad is just how difficult it is to create that scenario, right? Or find yourself in that scenario. But like even the stuff about arguments about Wisp and like now there's Hobgoblin. This card can be good again. But I've seen people use Wisp before with decks that were essentially built around making a giant Van Cleef. And then they were like pandying back Wisps into their hand and playing them again. And it's like, oh well, I've played a bunch of cards this turn, and then I make a huge Van Cleef and I conceal it and I win. And like so, there's already a way to make it work, and there's probably a way with almost any card to make it work. Except for Goldshire Footman. That card is just garbage. That card is hot garbage.
And Magma Rager. And
Yeah. Well, Magma Rager, you could play it and then Shadow Flame it for a 7 mana, 5 damage board clear. Not
There
bad.
you go.
I'm sorry. If Ben Bro, if you're a card and Ben Bro, one of the jolliest humans to walk the planet,
Yeah.
uses you as an example of a bad card, you're a bad card.
No, it is a bad card. Yes. Terrible card. Terrible card. I'm just saying that there's the one situation.
Yeah. I really
you know.
applaud your effort in finding how to get value out of Magma.
There's much easier ways to do what I just described.
Yeah, like play a card that's good, and if you have to Shadow Flame it, then awesome. If you didn't have to, well, then you still have a good card in play. oh God. Guys, I love Hearthstone.
Good.
See, look, we're back to the love now. All we need to do is just talk through the hate.
I
Find
really
our way
do.
back to the love.
I don't hate anything. Except maybe Magma Rager.
Okay. Yeah, and I hate Goldshire Footman. It's fine.
I
said
love
it.
There you go.
Footman, if for no other reason than because every time you shit on it on this show, we get a mention.
No, I know. No,
And
it's
that's-
an ongoing feud.
So-
Me and the Footman have a very real feud. And
Yeah. Love it so much. It's great. God, we are quickly running out of time, so I'm just going to very quickly mention that DreamHack Summer 2015 Hearthstone Grand Prix happened, actually just ended today because DreamHack is weird, and I always forget that it extends into Monday. So when I was watching yesterday, I'm like, wait, what? Huh? That's it? What? Oh, yeah, it's DreamHack. Crap, Monday, I work. So I've actually not gotten to see the finals. Of course, they've been spoiled from me, and we're going to spoil them for you here real quick. So spoiler alert. All right, you gone? Cool. Congrats to Tiddler Celestial winning 3-2 over Dog. But big regrets to Dog because this is his first big major event grand final.
yeah.
Well, and actually, I think didn't Tiddler, by winning this event, didn't he end up being like the most winningest Hearthstone player of all time now, from money
won-
wise?
Yeah, he won a bunch of money in that WCA thing because that was like a huge prize pool.
Yeah.
But I think Firebat was like just kind of the number one guy for a long time just because of $100,000 victory, right? But,
Well, yeah.
but he's Tiddler's won a bunch of big prizes. We just don't hear about him too much because it's all Asian stuff, you know.
Yeah.
So we heard about that one because they invited a bunch of Western players, but he's won a lot of really big tournaments. So yeah, he's a very accomplished player, very
Yeah.
good too.
Absolutely.
This was a hard one to get to the finals of, by the way.
Oh,
They
yeah,
did like
so hard.
Swiss, and you had to essentially be, I think it was 8-0 or 7-1 were the only ways
It
you were
was
going to get
7-0
into
because there was 7 rounds.
7-0
so 7-0 and 6-1.
Okay, 7-0 and
Yeah.
6-1 were the only ways to get into the top 8.
Yeah.
So that's rough.
and
really
look,
rough.
and like if you go look at like the Wikipedia page on it, and I mean there were so many players, but even just like taking a quick glance at the notable participants thing, it's just like whoever made it halfway through this damn thing is to be applauded. Like the talent in here is just ridiculous.
Yeah, yeah, there's a lot of big names there.
Good God, looking at this playoff, the quarterfinals and so on, the bracket is just absurd.
Yeah, but it's good that people are trying out the Swiss thing. I like it. I think it has a place in the future of Hearthstone tournaments, but it made it really rough to watch. I don't know if you guys tried to watch the tournament at all, but there was just so much downtime because the way Swiss works is, you can't start the next round until all the games are completed, right?
Yep.
Because you need to know everybody's record to be able to move on to the next round. So there was just, a match would happen, and then you'd sit and wait for the next match, and they didn't have like a very good in-between screen. It was just like a candle. It was like I'm just watching candles and rope for like 30 minutes. But
So many
they improved it. They got better, but it's just if you do run a tournament that way, you may have to like come up with some sort of a game plan to deal with that, because that's a little tough. Like when you watch Magic and they do the same thing, right? They use a Swiss format. The games are long enough that by the time one game ends, you're probably ready for the next one anyway. And they have like this exact time limit, so generally like everyone kind of uses up the time,
Yeah, they have the time limit to the rounds, and
Yeah.
if you run over, so be it.
So it works a little better there, but it didn't seem to work very well here, because sometimes you get, a 3-0 sweep and every game was really quick and it was all face hunter and whatever, and then the other guys are all playing control warrior mirror matchups, and it takes forever. So one bad thing I'll say about that tournament was just that, but I think they're aware and they did better as the week went on.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And now, if we were to continue talking about this, we would probably talk about Malagos Warlock, which we're going to do in strategy. So let's hit it.
Hit it very hard.
Wanna blow something up? Time to pay!
So, folks, if you've been reading anything about popular decks right now, or on the ladder, or watching DreamHack, you've probably seen this Dragonlock, Malagos Warlock, whatever you want to call it, Mallylock.
I like Mallylock.
I like Mallylock too. It sounds like a dance move.
It's
it totally does.
Do
the
the
Mallylock.
Do the Mallylock. It's essentially just like a dragon warlock deck, but Malagos is the notable dragon, right? So
yeah. Anytime you see Malagos, you're just like, oh my god, why? What's going on here?
yeah.
Because this isn't. We've seen him in decks in the past, but it's always like, I don't know. I feel like he's trendy. Like it's like, oh man, those 4 weeks when Malagos was in rogue decks or whatever. Oh man, and then you just never hear from him for months. Like you don't see Malagos anywhere.
Yeah.
And now he's back, and the consensus seems to be it's one of the strongest decks in the game at the moment.
Yeah, I actually I played it a bunch, and I really believe that it's up there with like the patron decks and Control Warrior and all the the mid-range hunter, all those. I think it really belongs there because it doesn't rely on Malagos. Look, Malagos is a cool, sexy way to finish your opponent off, but this deck gets a lot of power out on the board and has lots of ways to maintain that. So there's
I played this deck too for a couple hours tonight, and I think I went 10-4. It was so strong and so fun. Like I think it's been a really long time, probably since I started playing Mech Mage, that I've just played a deck and just totally fallen in love with it. Like you have so many different ways to control the board, and you have so many different win conditions, and you just kind of like take your time. Like you do need a lot of patience with this deck, but you just kind of like whittle away at the health, and then if you draw Malagos, awesome, but if not, like you still have a lot of big damage spells, like saving your dark bombs till later on is so effective.
Yeah, it's tough when I was first starting to play it because I thought I needed to save my dark bombs, but as I played it more, I realized you can win so many other ways, So I definitely I think the deck is just, you could take Malagos out, like Gary, you're like, I don't have Malagos. You could take Malagos out and just kind of play a deck like this and probably be fine. You'd probably still win a lot. You know what I mean? Like you'd have to figure out other ways to have some big damage burst. Maybe you could do like this deck is actually kind of similar to. It's kind of similar to the Arcane Golem Faceless combo decks, right? It just has a lot of really strong cards and removal, and then just over time, eventually you've built up a board advantage and been able to knock your opponent down just a little bit to where you can do your big. But it's just instead of that combo, it's Thaurissan into Malagos into Dark Bombs and Soulfires and stuff. So yeah, really good deck.
Yeah, I do not have Malagos. I mean, I've spent a lot of money in the game, but I don't have every card in the game. And he's just not one of them. I always seemed like, like I said, I always see him as kind of trendy. Doesn't seem worth my dust because he's not used in a lot of decks or very frequently. But
it's a specific deck that is kind of built around taking advantage. Because you remember Malagos Rogue, right? That deck was specifically built around being a Miracle Rogue that was able to then draw into consistently Malagos, prep, eviscerates, and Sinister Strikes and stuff. You can't do that with just any deck or any class. Like it just works in Warlock because you get to life tap a lot. It worked in Rogue because you got to cycle through your entire deck once you got an Auctioneer to stick on the board. So it's definitely like, yeah, if you are limited in your dust, I wouldn't say that Malagos is the first guy to blow it on. Like go with Ysera even first, right? Ysera goes in more decks. So
which I crafted the second I heard BRM announce, because I'm like, yeah, Dragon Pally, and then I'm just
yeah. So like, oh man, what happened to you, Dragon Pally?
Luckily, Ysera's a good card, so I'm sure I'll be chucking her in other decks later down the line. But
Dragon Control Warrior is still going on. That's very much a thing. And this deck takes advantage of I think the cards that you can look at the Dragon set and say, these were cards we thought were good, and these are the ones that are actually still good. which is the Blackwing Corruptor. Like that card is actually stuck around.
Oh,
As,
absolutely.
You know, that to me is that's the big winner out of the dragon set that we got. All those other ones, like everyone tried a Hungry Dragon, we tried to make it work. In the end, you know,
Which granted, Blackwing Corruptor. Imagine how good it would be if the other dragons were better.
yeah.
Because you do have a lot more incentive to play more dragons, thus increasing the likelihood that Blackwing Corruptor will get value.
Yeah, but the just with Azure Drakes and Twilight Drakes and Malagos, you have enough dragons in your deck to activate these Blackwing Corruptors, and they're amazing. I mean, the 5/4 body, you might look at it and say, "Oh, I wish it was a 4/5 or something like that," but actually having the 5 attack means that it's able to contest things like Thorson, Lotheb, Sludge Belchers. There's a lot of things out there with 5 health that you're able to contest, and sure, you sometimes die to like a piloted shredder or something like that, but you still are 2 for 1 because you've done that 3 damage. So the 5/4 body actually makes more sense than the 4/5.
Now reading a lot about this deck over the past few days, it seems like the big choice to make is like whether to play your dragons on curve or to hold on to them to make sure you get Blackwing Corruptor value later on. Have you noticed that that's kind of a decision that's constantly dancing around the back of your head when playing this deck?
I actually haven't. I haven't. I think the biggest thing for me is over tapping. I don't know, Jocelyn, have you had any issues with? Yeah.
Isn't that the problem with every Warlock ever?
Well,
Yeah, I was going to say, you do have to be careful with your life total because the games go on for so long. It's not the same as, like Zoo, where you can just be like, Spluh, done in 5 turns, or, the same as Handlock, where you've just got like taunt. Why are you laughing at me?
That incredibly technical sound effect. I loved it. Someone cap that and send it to me because I'm not
Oh, man.
time.
So hot version 2.0.
Yep. I think that okay. So you need to tap. You need to tap a lot, but you also have to be careful because you also So tapping is kind of required because there's a lot of important cards you need to draw into, right? So things like the heal bots and things like Malagos and the Soulfire and the Dark Bombs and all that stuff, those are really important. Thorson. So you do need to tap a lot, but you also have to make sure that you're not, like, for me, it wasn't even the life total, it was the mana, and then not spend it, because that's the other part of this deck is when you spend 4 mana on a Twilight Drake, it's usually a lot of power you're putting on the board, or at least a lot of health you're putting on the board. So you don't want to be like tapping on turn 4. You won't want to be playing something like that. You want to be playing something on turn 4 that's really good. And then, of course, you also don't want to like just play Thorson the moment you get it, because you want to have some of the combo pieces in your hand when you do.
Exactly.
Because Thorson's not going to live. Right.
Very,
Thorson
very
is not
true.
going to live. Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't had that many problems. I think my biggest problem with this deck so far has not been having the proper kind of early game. I find I almost always have something to play by turn 4, but I mean, like, I'm pretty much, passing turn 1, tapping on 2, and sometimes even having to tap on 3 as well. And that really makes it difficult when you go up against things like Zoo or Face Hunter. Although I only saw, I think, like 2 Zoo decks, and I didn't see a Face Hunter.
Yeah.
But anything that's really, really aggressive is going to be is going to wreck you, because you're not quite the same as Handlock, where you can start to protect yourself. Like, it's a different kind of a game.
But you've got one
like
defender.
different kind of a deck. Yeah, you have one
and
defender.
A Sludge Belcher. Some decks
Yeah.
are running 2 Sludge Belchers. I wasn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you don't draw like both of your heal bots, like I had this where I beat plenty of hunters, but it was the games where I drew both my heal bots. So
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Heal bots are really, really key. So, but I had a ton of fun. I did really, really well with the deck. Like I say, it just clicked with me for whatever reason. And I found that even in games where like I knew I made huge misplays, like, I mean, I used friggin' Implosion on like my turn 7 going into a Warrior's turn 8, and I'm just like, oh, this will be totally fine. Oh, crap. There's my 4/1/1s into your crazy chargy patron turn. You're
Yeah.
welcome.
Yeah. That's like there's definitely.
But I still won that game. Like,
Really? Oh wow.
yeah, this is what
Well,
I say. Like,
I think
right?
it sounds like a little bit of luck.
Well, you've got Hellfires to recover.
Well,
against
yeah, I have
patrons.
Hellfire, and then
Yeah.
next turn it was like Malagos, and then like dark bombs. Pew pew pew.
Yeah. So yeah, the deck is just centers around, and we won't, without going through every single card. So we actually did have somebody say, "Oh, your strategy section, you should go over what's in the deck." Going listing all the cards in a 30-card deck is a little bit tedious, but we mentioned quite a
But
few.
the link is in the show notes.
Yes,
Yeah,
the link is in the show notes.
We always end up talking about the notable cards.
Yeah.
If you go to amove.tv/TAC, after the podcast has been posted, if you're listening it live or right after it goes up at like midnight, they won't be up yet. But the show notes are up the next day, usually by the afternoon at amove.tv/TAC. If you ever want to find the deck list for the decks that we are talking about. Also, if you just search for like Malagos Warlock on Google, you will find it.
Yeah. It's actually though a good tip for looking up decks if you're just trying to find it is just go use Google and just put in like the last week or the last month or something, because people are always updating their decks on like Hearthstone and stuff. So you want to just make sure you're getting like the latest version. But yeah, I mean you've got a lot of like cards that can kind of recover from bad situations in this deck, and I think that's one of the things that the deck just really does well, is just kind of matches up against just about anything okay, as long as you kind of play for that matchup, right? So you can adjust to whatever you're going to play against, and that's to me is what makes a deck like this really fun, is that it's not like, oh, here's this deck, I guess I just lose, which there's a lot of decks that have that, this kind of rock paper scissors thing where you're just hoping that most people on the ladder are not playing scissors, you know what I mean, and you're just you can win against the rest of the field. And this deck seems to just kind of do well against everything. Like, as long as you understand that matchup. Like, so Jocelyn, you said, oops, implosion fed right into your big turn. As long as you can, recognize and not do that, then, you made that mistake once, and then you'll go, okay, now I won't make that mistake again.
Now I don't do that.
Have a higher win rate against patron decks. So,
yeah.
the deck has a lot of maneuverability within it. And I think that's another reason why a lot of the pros really like it, because they're the guys who are very good at doing that. And when they have a deck that they can pilot in multiple different directions, they're going to win a lot. So, yeah, I'm getting texted all the time. Sorry. Is this coming through? I got 20 texts in the past 2
No, you're fine.
Okay,
I
good.
would never have known.
Good. All right. Well, now you do.
You make a great point about not playing a rock paper scissors deck. I mean, a lot of us just go to templestorm.com, we look at the meta snapshot, and I feel like if you ever look at the top decks on that, they all have they're well rounded. Like if you look at it right now, it's 1 Control Warrior, 2 Grim Patron, 3 mid range, 4 Malagos Warlock, and 5 Oil Rogue. None of those really have hard counters. Like they do pretty well against the field.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's I feel like we're at a good place in the meta right now where you can play decks like this. Like the Face Hunter going away, and I'm not an anti-Face Hunter, and we all know this. But it really did open things up, because there were certain decks that you just couldn't play with Face Hunter out there. Mm-hmm. Like you're just like, well, if I queue into a Face Hunter, I'm just never going to be able to do what I want to do because I have to pass every turn until turn 4. And now in this current meta, getting a Twilight Drake down after you've tapped a couple times is actually something that happens all the time with this deck, And then you end up doing really well.
There is still a lot of Face Hunter though, first week of the season.
Oh no!
Somewhere, between 10 and 1, it's just Hunter.
And that's not their fault. That's Blizzard's fault. But we're at 15 days in now, so time to pull out your slow control decks, everybody.
I also have to say, so happy to see mid-range Paladin rising back up the ranks.
Yeah, I think though you have to put in the second equality to really make it work these days because of patrons. But yeah, the deck is still very powerful.
Love it. And oh man, even against Patron Warrior, and this doesn't always happen because I feel like I'm stuck in the opposite of this a lot. But when you do get the Quartermaster and you have a bunch of 1/1s out against the Patron Warrior, just as you're dragging it over, it's just maniacal laughter. I love it. They feel terrible and wonderful all at the same time.
So I messed around with a few different versions of this, and I won't go too deep in, but I did end up making some of the same decisions that were made here. Although, my version was using, Imp Gang bosses, which I'm not seeing in this version, because Imp Gang boss does just kind of help you deal with a lot of things. This deck is running the double Blackwing Technician, so I was actually using Imp Gang boss because it's tough for them to remove it, and then you have things like Abusive Sergeant and stuff that you can use.
Yeah, there's 2 gang bosses in this
Oh,
deck.
there is? Okay, I can't
Yeah.
really see.
They might not be in the graphic that we're showing on stream because it just grabbed
Oh, okay. Yeah.
post just to show something to the chat room. But no, if you're looking at the Liquid Hearth article,
Liquid Hearth one, yeah.
that one does run the 2 gang bosses.
Yeah.
I've seen both as well.
And then I was running double Soulfire because just doing 19 or 18 damage with Malagos out, and oftentimes you're able to knock them both down to 0 cost. You just have a percentage chance of discarding the other one, which is unfortunate. But so I get why a lot of people are only running 1, because a lot of times you do fine with a Dark Bomb and a Soulfire, but I was doing okay with both, and it most of the time it was 1 out of 5 or 1 out of 6 to discard the second Soulfire, so it didn't really seem to be too much of a problem. Although having that happen 1 time could be soul crushing enough to get rid of the second Soulfire. I can see that for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I think my version had Dr. Boom in it, and a few other things. So there's different ways.
Yeah,
to
that's
do
the
this.
thing. This one doesn't have Boom, which just
Yeah.
feels so wrong to me to build a deck without Boom in it. Like,
Yeah. I mean,
the first thing I've played since Boom was a thing where
Yeah.
it hasn't been in my deck. There's no Boom bots in my life, and it makes me so sad.
Well, you can put it. You can put it back in. I
don't know, man.
Knock something else out. Take out a Sludge Belcher or something. Like I found that Sludge Belcher was, like I just found that there was too many 5-drops in the versions that I was seeing posted everywhere. So I was
There's a
knocking
lot
some
of
the
5-drops, yeah.
out. Yeah, because
But it's also kind of nice to have the choice, like you've got your Sludge Belchers, you've got your Heal Bots, you've got your Corruptors. Like there's so much choice. So it makes you really flexible in your mid to late game.
yeah. But the problem for me was just that sometimes I'd have 4 or 5-drops in my hand at the beginning of the game, which
Ah, well,
I have
yeah,
no
that sucks.
choices at that point. That's
That is
actually
true.
removing choice from me. So I went to less of those. I think the 1 Zombie Chow is really important, but I wanted to have like some more stuff I could play early on. So I just knocked down the 5-drops a little bit. But yeah, I mean, this deck is fantastic. I encourage everyone, give it a shot. Probably a lot of people don't have Malagos like Garrett, so sorry. Or as Jocelyn would say, sorry.
Sorry.
Delightful. Well, let's take a crazy game story.
Is the whole world gone crazy?
You're in trouble now.
You got it!
Send those crazy game stories to tacpodcast@gmail.com. Ours today comes to us from Patrick, who says, Heidi ho, chick Renos. I feel like there should be a chick Reno in there or something. Anyways, first, I started listening to the TAC. That's the TAC. That
Sorry, I didn't have a chance to edit this.
The Angry Chicken.
Yeah, no, I love pulling out weird things like this. I started listening to Attack a few weeks ago when I started getting into competitive Hearthstone. The podcast is amazing, and I've gone back and listened to almost a dozen past episodes, and I plan to listen to more. You all do an amazing job, so thank you for all the work you put in. Oh, thanks, man. We're just going to stop there because we just wanted to pat ourselves on the back.
Totally crazy game story.
No. He also wrote, I got my first awesome play that I wanted to share with all of you. I was finishing up a daily in casual mode with Tempo Mage when I cast an unstable portal revealing Ysera. This is especially awesome since I've long wanted to craft and play her, but haven't found a competitive deck to do so in. Curse you, Dragadin, for being a barrel of false hope. Oh, man, Patrick, I'm right there with you, buddy. At any rate, not only did I get to cast Ysera for 6 mana, but the following turn, I played Faceless Manipulator copying Ysera. So not only did I get to cast my... Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah. It just seems like weird. Not only did I get to cast my Ysera for 6, but my second was cheaper and reminded me that sometimes winning more is just awesome. Thank you for your time and happy ladder climbing as the second half of the season starts. Yeah, I'd say 2 Yseras by turn 7 is pretty... You're
It's a
a
winning position. That's a winning
Yeah.
position right there. It's an interesting idea to be running a Faceless Manipulator in a Tempo Mage because, and I actually can see this working because of the fact that you've got things like Unstable Portal, where sometimes you're going to get something amazingly awesome that you're going to want a Faceless, but you've also still got like a lot of Tempo Mages are running things like Ragnaros and Dr. Boom and like Sylvanas and stuff like that. So there's other options.
And Antonitis.
And Antonitis, yeah, exactly. Although it'd be tough to get, yeah, but it could happen. It could happen.
It could happen.
It could
All of
happen.
this could happen.
Faceless Manipulator is such a fun card.
Steal
Yeah.
something good from your opponent.
Sure, yeah,
That
absolutely.
too, yeah.
If you run a polymorph or something like that, that's like an awesome answer. Is to copy whatever awesome thing they put on the board and then polymorph theirs, and you're like, haha, now I have the cool thing.
And you have a sheep.
Yeah.
I love Baseless Manipulator, man. Like, I wish there like more solid decks that were running it at the moment. That
It's tough to find a spot for it just because there's so many, at this point, there's so many cards and so many like tech cards you want to run that it's tough to just, it's not that the 5 mana cost is too much or anything like that. It's the 30 deck slots that makes it rough because you got to take something out to find room for that. So
yeah.
But it's always in the milkshake deck. It's always got a place in the milkshake deck.
Oh, that's great. I finally got King Crush off of a web spinner this week.
Nice.
And I didn't get to play him.
Oh, you never do.
I won too quickly.
Yeah.
First world Hearthstone problems.
You didn't get to crush my opponent. Damn it.
So, it sounded like you just censored yourself. On my...
Okay, I thought that was just me.
No. That was just me cutting out or something.
Oh, okay, yeah. You just said I didn't get the crushes.
Yeah.
Crushes what, Bill?
What didn't I get to crush?
First of all, what did you say? Second of all, very good self-editing. Like, impressive. Very impressive.
I said didn't get to crush your opponent. There you go.
There you go. I will crush you. Now, real quick, forgot to mention, Baudelaria. I emoted the shit out of the first person who played.
Of course.
I am so sorry, first person, but I just wanted to hear all those emotes.
They probably just squelched you. You were just emoting into a vacuum. Yeah.
I'm just there talking to myself digitally. Yeah. Wonderful. Let's take some emails.
Hello?
Hello, it's me.
Hello.
Just quickly, did you get my message?
Yep.
Oh.
Hello, brother.
You can send your emails to the same place, tacpodcast@gmail.com. Our first one today comes to us from Madamus Prime, who writes, "My beloved poultry." I feel like I should read this in an old southern drawl, like it's a word letter or something. "My beloved poultry. I have a super mega ultra noob question, so please pardon my ignorance. Listening to the episode with Karma," I can't do this anymore.
Oh man, but it was so good. I was purposely not making any noise because I didn't want to distract you.
Do it anymore. Listening to the episode with Karma, what a great guest, by the way. She kept referring to decks that you can tech. What does tech mean in the context of Hearthstone? Secondly, when you all were talking about a female player who needs to grit their teeth and keep on trucking despite all the e-hate, I couldn't help but think of Scarlet in StarCraft 2. Man, she has dealt with a lot of crap, and she just keeps wrecking fools. I'm a long-time StarCast listener, hence the StarCraft reference. I didn't catch the StarCraft reference.
Scarlet.
Just the mention of Scarlet.
Oh, God, I thought maybe there was another one.
Something else? Yeah. No.
Gotcha. Who is thrilled you are doing this wonderful podcast. This podcast makes my morning commute so much more enjoyable. Thanks so much. That is awesome. Yeah, so, Dills. Define tech. You're our dictionary.
Yeah, this is actually, we didn't bring this up, I think, when we defined a bunch of other stuff. Essentially, tech is, like a tech card is a card that's kind of in the game to counter another card. So things like Big Game Hunter, Black Knight, these cards
Mystic.
Kazan Mystic. These are cards that are kind of out there to shore up maybe bad matchups or something like that. So, one of the matchups I ran into with the Malagos Warlock that I actually struggled with was Freeze Mage. And Freeze Mage.
Ooh, I haven't hit that yet.
Yeah, so Freeze Mage is tough because you have a lot of minions that do damage, and then also because your big kind of combo to finish them off is in huge bursts of damage. You can't really get them to 1 and then pop the ice block, which is a big deal when you're playing Freeze Mage. If you can pop the ice block when they're at 1 health or something like that, then you can easily finish them off the next turn. It's tough to do that when you're doing bursts of 9 with Soulfires. So it ended up being a really, really rough matchup. And I was like, I should tech in a Kazan Mystic. So when you're talking about teching in a card or a tech card, you're essentially talking about those specific cards that exist in the game that essentially counter one specific deck or one specific card that the other guy might play. So that's what it is.
Very nicely done.
Well played.
Yes.
Well,
but it is an important concept that that it's good to be familiar with, because you can have a deck that has none of these and it's going to be kind of consistently good, And then you can have a deck with too many of these, which will be bad because you'll always have a bunch of cards that are very specific. And if they don't play the card that it's good against, then you just kind of have a bad card. Because on Mystic is a 4/3 for 4, where you could be playing a Yeti, a 4/5 for 4 instead, you know. But if you're playing against the Hunter and you take away their freezing trap, then it's way better than Yeti. So
Yeah, that's a
you got to be
huge
careful
thing.
with the
Yeah.
tech cards. Don't overuse the tech cards, kids.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And just one more fist pump for friggin' Scarlet, because she is one of my favorite Zerg players, and she is insane.
I think she's the only Zerg player that I actually enjoy watching. I don't generally like watching Zerg matches, but I like watching her.
Oh, I love watching
I'm always impressed with the skill of Zerg players because there's just so much to do. Like if you play Zerg, you know, things like using the queens and injecting stuff into your, you know, it's like
Yeah.
I just can't wrap my head around doing all of these things while I'm also creating minions and fighting and all that stuff, all the other stuff.
Oh man, you don't stand on top of your larva injects. You just brick so hard as a Zerg player.
Yeah, and I can't. So I'm just very impressed with the Zerg play and like putting creep down and all this stuff. There's
Yep.
so many things to do.
But you want to, because creep is basically cheating, because it gives you free vision of everywhere it is. It's
No,
fun.
absolutely, yeah. But see, like for me, like my play style was always better with like Terran because it's just not that much to think about really. It's kind of like make units go attack, make units go attack. You know?
The early days of Protoss, it was just all death ball, just death ball.
Yeah.
Make all your shit and just charge forward.
Protoss to me was a little bit rough too, though, because of gating. Because, you know, I guess I'm just not good at like multitasking in games or something. Where
I'm garbage at StarCraft, by the way. I just really love it. Like deep down in my soul, I think it's one of the greatest games ever created. But I'm terrible at it.
yeah, I just couldn't like remember like, oh, I can gate in a bunch of units right now, and I'd always forget because I'm used to Terran, where they're happening over there.
Yeah.
Units are happening. I don't have to think about it.
See, Dills, this is why Archon mode is so great because, like,
Sure.
you can just worry about being Zerg and, like, attacking with things, and then, like, I can just be in the back injecting larvae and making dudes and sending them out to you.
Sure.
Archon mode is perfect.
Archon mode does sound pretty perfect.
I've tried Archon mode. It's mind blowing. It's like playing a new game. Video just crapped out on my end for.
It
Hey,
did on
Yeah,
mine,
okay,
too.
me too.
it says you need Skype Premium to make a group video call. No, we don't.
What?
No, we
Is
sure
that
don't.
something that just, like, switched over at midnight or something?
I don't know.
Been doing.
It's coming back, guys. Don't
How
worry.
long?
Don't worry.
Thanks.
Oh my god, yeah, no, I totally just got that too. That message too. Oh well, whatever.
Anyway, Dills, you want to take the next email?
Sure. Okay, this is from Errolris. That is a very awkward name to say. Arlris. Sorry, I didn't mean to make fun of your name, but
Our
it's just-
Iris,
it's
maybe?
not
I don't know if
rolling
that's
off-
an I or an L.
It's not rolling off the tongue. But
We'll just call him or her A.
Arlris.
Yeah.
Arlris says, "Hey, Tech Crew. Do you guys think that there is a minimum amount of time that an adventure or expansion needs to be available before the World Championship? If so, how much?" No? I don't think so, but I don't think that that'll be an issue because I'm sure that any expansions will be probably coming out after BlizzCon so that they can announce things at BlizzCon and have stuff to talk about. So I
say
don't
that.
foresee it being an issue, really.
I mean, I think they should be. I mean, if you have your own league that is run by Blizzard, which they do, you should put some. I don't know. You should put some type of consideration into your esport schedule and your content rollout. That said, BlizzCon's a long way away, man. I want some new cards before then.
No, we'll have new cards before then. But okay, so if the issue is the competition, I actually think that if you had a bunch of fresh cards right before a tournament, that would be really cool because then we'd get to watch the best players in the world figure out how to play them right in front of us.
Yeah,
And
but
it
I
would
mean,
be
if
interesting.
if this was your job, would you think that was cool? Like,
Well,
if
no, but I'm not in that position, so I get to say I think it'd be cool. The players may disagree, and that's fine. But
you, you should acknowledge that fact.
yeah. But I mean, there was a tournament that happened right after. I can't remember which. I can't remember if it was this one or. So ESL is like kind of this running season, right? And I think they had some stuff where, from week to week, there was new cards out, and of course, with the adventures, you get like this kind of slow drip. But I do remember there's like a tournament going on with like GVG where like all the cards were out, and then they had to go like, no, you can't use all those new cards yet or something. And then the very next week, it was like, now you get to use them. So you were seeing players figure it out, like, on the fly. And it was actually really interesting. It was really interesting to watch because those people, those pro players are better at evaluating this stuff than the rest of us. So, like, I learned a lot watching it. So I wouldn't mind that again.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting because I feel like, I mean, in my head, it's like, well, if you're planning esports, I get it if you're at least taking into account if Blizzard's taking into account at least their own tournament. But it'd also be nice, and I don't know, maybe they do this, maybe they don't, if they gave other official tournaments that are going through the raid channels through Blizzard, gave them a heads up, like, hey, just so you know, if you're playing this thing, we're expecting to have a content rollout or a content rollout within this window. I cannot talk tonight.
Sorry.
You should be talking in the old Southern accent is what you should be doing.
Yeah, you did
But
so much
Everything
better
would
with
roll
that
right off
accent.
the tongue.
So when I talk slowly, I get to think about the next word that's coming out of my mouth.
Exactly.
Yes.
See?
It's really just a bad Morgan Freeman impression. That's what it is.
What's under that rock, Andy? Sorry. That's a bad Morgan
That was
Freeman. Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah.
Morgan Freeman.
I don't actually profess to know how to do it. I just know how to say a thing that you said that was funny, but I don't have an actual impression, no.
That's okay. That's how I do. That's how I do Robert De Niro. I just say the quote. It sounds nothing like it, and I move on with my life.
Talking to me? Yeah, see? You don't have to actually have a voice. You just say a thing that he said one time.
That sounded like Zac Efron doing
Yeah, exactly.
Hero in Neighbors.
Which
That's
is actually one of my favorite ways to do impressions. Just say something that they said once.
do an impression of someone else's impression.
Yeah.
That's how I learned to do my Christopher Walken.
See?
God.
Very, very well done. Yeah.
Okay.
But okay, there's too many people who do walking, so which one is that?
I think I got that from. Who the hell did I get that from? Guy what used to host BlizzCon. Jay Moore.
Oh, Jay Moore. Okay.
That's a bad impression of Jay Moore's impression of Christopher Walken. That's what that is. So enjoy, folks. Enjoy. Jocelyn, final email for the night?
Sure. Our final email comes to us from Ben. It says, hey guys, I just wanted to email and thank you for getting me to Legend for the first time. Last month I realized I climb the ranks more on Tuesday afternoon listening to TAC than I do the rest of the week. The solution I came up with was re-download every episode and only play when I have your beautiful voices in my ear. It worked amazingly. I went from rank 19 to 7 without a single loss. Even managed to win the final game to hit Legend with the Milkshake deck, so thanks once again.
Whoa.
I know, right?
Milkshake to Legend.
What were you going to say, Garrett?
I'm just impressed.
Let me leave you with a quick question. Do any of you folks roleplay with your decks, or roleplay your decks with card backs? I only use Nax with my lock decks, Ice Crown with Freeze Mage, Nefarian with Dragon decks, and Cupcake for Milkshake. I love that, by the way.
I will now that
Yeah.
I customize, like I can assign a card back to a deck.
Well, and that's kind of the thing. Like, this is going to be so amazing that you can have card backs so you don't constantly have to be switching it before you go into your match. But I've seen some people talking about almost like doing this idea, but then using it like to troll other people or to throw them off. Like, you know, we've talked about it before, like, you know, using your legend card back to intimidate, or your classic card back so that people have no idea like what you're playing whatsoever, like how you've done in previous seasons or anything like that. So I'm almost feeling like if I go up against a mage and I see Ice Crown, I'm going to think it's Freeze Mage, but then what if it's actually like Tempo Mage? Like, are we going to get to the point where people are starting to mess with people even more with card backs because you can theme stuff now? It's like next level crazy.
I feel like unless we get a card back that explicitly says aggro, we're overthinking this a little too much.
Well, but then, like, you know, say I'm like playing warrior and I have patrons. That's kind of aggressive-ish, more aggressive than control warrior. Then I would use like the warlord's card back because that's like aggressive warrior. Grr.
I'm going to see the hunter card back on a non-hunter and just assume it's a hunter, and I'm going to lose that game.
I mean, yeah, I think if you want to get super next level and just talk about the theory of emotions when you're talking about your Hearthstone stuff, you might
This
be
is
able
what
to
I'm talking-
figure out that this card back tends to be more often a hand lock than a zoo lock, and be able
Yeah,
to
this
mulligan
is super
properly
next
for it.
level.
No,
I'm
That's
telling
gonna be
you.
incredibly difficult.
Yeah.
Now, if Blizzard releases statistics for this, like hard statistics, like all patron warrior, like 75% of patron warrior decks have the like the cupcake card back assigned to. I don't know.
Yeah.
If we see those stats,
But
then
it'd
yes.
be a range of decks too, like that, or a range of card backs. Like this is not. There's no way.
At the moment,
Oh, come on, guys.
it's
Just
a-
humor me.
no, I think it is a cool idea, and it's definitely something I do as a player. Absolutely, but I don't assume everyone else does. Like, what does the hero card back tell you? The heroes. It tells you I like playing Heroes of the Storm. That's all it tells.
It tells me, and for the longest time, I was playing with the BlizzCon card back because I felt like that was intimidating because I'm just like, I am so into Blizzard. I went to BlizzCon.
But didn't
Or,
you-
well, I guess you get it for virtual ticket
You
too,
watch
but
the first- yeah.
yeah. But I felt like it was just like, haha, I'm into all the things. And then that's how I feel with the Heroes card back now, is I'm just like, yeah, I'm good at Heroes and Hearthstone. Eat it.
Yeah, level 12, bitch. What?
Exactly. Well, they don't have a Heroes card back, so
But maybe they do. That's the thing. Maybe they do. They're just not using it.
I really wish we got like at least like a slight different tint if we actually attended BlizzCon on our digital goodies. Because I was riding around on my BlizzCon horse in Heroes of the Storm the other day, and one guy was like, "Oh my God, what mount is that?" And I was like, "Oh, it's from BlizzCon." And one guy said, "Yeah, but you can get it from virtual ticket." And I'm just sitting there like, "But no, I actually
I
went
was there.
I was there, like just like a little BlizzCon flag on it or something." You know, just something.
just like a pass hanging around its
Aw.
neck or something.
The other kids were mean to you, Garrett. They told you that your mount wasn't that cool.
That it was the nicest mean thing. So much Heroes this week.
Yeah, that's a good point. There's much more volatile things that have happened.
Oh, and I get volatile back. Don't get, if people are mean to me, I retort.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Don't go cry? Okay.
I do not take the high road. Do not take the high road at all.
Yeah. I've been playing a lot of Heroes like just by myself, and and especially with the Hero League, and it's so funny when someone's being kind of an ass. I've been trying to just be like really like overly encouraging, so I'm like someone does something really stupid, I'm like, it's okay, man. We'll get them the next time. Just don't like leave us anymore, okay? Don't run off by yourself anymore, cause we miss you. And like I'll just try to like make it like kind of
That's
funny. or
totally
whatever.
what I do.
Yeah,
I
but I'm
kill
just
them with
trying to
kindness.
be, because I feel like when you're just like it's a douchebag to them, then they just get like this. Yeah, whatever. Screw you, man. Like I'm totally pushing this lane up here
So-
by myself. So if
What
you do that, maybe they're willing to work with you. You know?
So what you're telling me is that you just start role playing Butters from South Park.
Yeah,
Anytime
pretty much.
D-bag to you in a
Yeah.
video game. I love this.
Yeah.
Yep.
Love this.
It's actually worked a few times, because if you're trying to get your team to play together as a team, it doesn't like being mean to them. Doesn't
Being a
ever
jerk,
seem to
yeah,
do
it doesn't get you anywhere.
And then if
Yeah.
they continue to be a jerk, you're just being ironic and making them more angry without losing your. I like this.
Exactly. See?
I'll start championing
See?
this.
These are Jocelyn mind games right here.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
Next level mind games, people.
No.
Next level.
You thought she was just being polite because of Canada, but really, she's just trying to win. She's
I'm
trying to beat
screwing
you.
with you all.
Well, Ben, I agree. I do totally roleplay my decks. So cool. I'm
Oh yeah,
glad.
that's there's a question. in
Yeah,
here
there
somewhere.
was a question in
Yes.
there.
I will now that there's these cards. Yes. I
Yeah,
will.
now that
Card
there's the
backs.
option.
First thing I did, man, I went into my mid-range hunter. I swapped my hero to Illyria, and I turned that card back to the hunter card back. I'm like, yeah, now I'm gonna get in and just shiny hunter everything. Yeah.
We didn't even mention that got added, did we? At the top,
Yeah, we did.
did we? Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
It
Anyways,
wasn't
that's
part of the big news, but it's decent. And the friends list went up to 200.
that we
Yes.
did not mention. Yeah, the friends
Yeah.
list has gone up.
So I've been like, just adding everybody, and I know that at some point I'm now going to be at the 200 list. I'm going to be like, Blizzard, give me 1,000-person friend list.
I haven't been adding people, and it makes me feel so bad because I'm just like, I don't know. I feel like I deleted so many people over the course of the last like 12 months. I need to figure out like who I deleted and try to get them back in first.
Before while you've got these 100 extra spaces. Yeah.
Yeah. Friends list is serious business, dude.
It really
And that
is.
chat room is publicly chastising me for not adding certain people. Thanks, Sparky. Thanks. Make me feel real good.
You don't have Sparky?
Apparently not.
Get out.
I thought we were friends, Sparky.
You've got room, dude. You've got
Yep.
room.
Yeah. Now I do. That's going to do it for today's show. Want to thank our patrons over at patreon.com/TAC. Becoming a TAC patron gives you access to the TAC Skype account for the patron call-in episodes. We still haven't figured out the date for this month, but I have a feeling it'll probably be on the last possible day since it'll fall on a Tuesday, and that's when we always do it. But more, we'll announce that next episode when we'll be doing the next patron hangout. You also get access to the after show VOD before everyone else, and all kinds of other cool stuff. So go check it out. Patreon.com/TAC. Thanks for the support. And this week, thank you specifically to Stefan L, Max F, Sean W, Benji, and Stefano. Thank you all so much for supporting the show. We really appreciate it.
That's totally the StarCraft 2 guy, right?
It's not spelt correctly. That would be really awesome, though, if Stefano... Speaking of awesome Zerg players, since it keeps coming up on the Hearthstone podcast for some reason. Oh, Stefano. And also, if you're leaving us reviews in the iTunes store, thank you so much. Thanks this week to JJP with a bunch of numbers, Rando227, Peanut Butter Snails, best name ever, Bob and Dragon. Why didn't you leave 2 reviews? Why didn't Bob leave a review and then Dragon leave a review? God. And then Lord Blizzard has blessed us with a 5-star review. So thank you, Lord Blizzard. We are not worthy. Thank you very much. The Angry Chicken is a production of amove.tv and frogpants.com. All of our past live shows and other videos can be found on youtube.com/starcastshow. And you can get our t-shirt over at slashloot.com. Follow us on Twitter at TAC Podcast. Catch us live every Monday night at 10 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/amovetv or over at alphageekradio.com. And check out briangriffithmusic.com for a lot of awesome music, including the intro music to The Angry Chicken. Dills, where can folks find you?
You can find me on the Instance every Friday with Patrick Terpster and the one and only Scott Johnson, and we talk about World of Warcraft. So check that out if you like that game, which some people do. Most people don't like it anymore, though.
You said at the top of the show you talk about a lot of games.
Actually, yeah. So Scott actually just kind of announced that we're now just going to be more of an all-encompassing Blizzard podcast. Because we talk about all this stuff anyway, and people always bitch and moan at us like, you stick to the subject, damn it, and all that stuff. And it's just kind of gotten to the point now where we recognize that we're just going to talk about this stuff. It's just.
You mean like?
Well, there's so many things to talk about now, and like the big ones, like Hearthstone and Heroes, like the new stuff that they're coming out with. It's free. You don't need to pay in it.
Yeah, they have questions about like Hearthstone, and they always refer to me as the host of this show that knows about Hearthstone, or like, I'm saying out of those people, not out of you guys.
I'm about to say, no offense to those guys, but I played the other host of the Instance. Patrick, I know this man. You need to up your snuff.
He's got this one druid deck that he loves. That's the thing, and it's
the one he's still playing.
Yeah,
from...
it's like a weird one of everything druid deck. Yeah, it's so bizarre.
He did actually beat you with that last year, though, didn't he?
No, I won. Yeah.
Oh, did you win? Okay,
yeah, I thought we were playing at. I think that was at Nertacular, right?
It was, yeah. We're all down in the game room.
He's still playing that deck. He grabbed who did he grab? He grabbed Valkyrion's iPad and like built it on his iPad, and Valk was like, "I'm never gonna delete this deck, never."
Yeah, and then he played it, and he's like, "You know what? I'm deleting this."
This deck sucks. Yeah. But so we just kind of talk about whatever on there. If you're a fan of the San Francisco Giants, look at TortureCast. You can find torturecast.com. And check out my Twitch stream, Willie Dills SF, streaming pretty much Hearthstone and Heroes, but streamed a little agar.io the other day. I don't know if you guys have played that game. Game's pretty baller.
I literally don't know if you just spoke English.
Yeah, I've never heard of whatever it is you just said.
There you go. It's this right here. It's just a web game where you're like a dot and you go around eating other dots.
Oh my god.
This sounds
super fun, you guys. Super
require
fun.
other substances to enjoy properly.
Yeah.
fun,
Not drunk enough for this game.
Well, here's the thing: if you get too drunk while you're streaming, switch to this game because you're all you're doing is just running around with your dots. Yep. I made myself laugh. All right.
Dills is killing himself.
Yep.
It's great. Killing himself with laughter as opposed to me for a change. Oh man. Sports. I just checked the hockey score. I'm not happy.
Oh, you actually care about that, huh?
Well, and we
yeah, no, that's true.
And also, I'm hearing maniacal laughter from my Chicago-born fiance in the other room. So,
Spoiler alert: Chicago is the champion.
Yeah. send your hate mail to idon'tcare@gmail.com. Jocelyn, where can you be found?
Right here on A-Move TV every Wednesday night for the Gamers In. This is the first week we're going to be doing it on Wednesday. I'm super stoked because that means that I'm going to be able to just relax and stream on Fridays instead of having to like host a show at 10 p.m. and junk, which was so fun. But yeah, so I'm super excited to do Wednesday night. So it's going to be 7 p.m. Eastern time. So super stoked. That starts this week. Other than that, you can find me on Twitch at GIS Gamer, same handle on Twitter. I'm actually going to be starting up a stream schedule. It's going to be Monday to Friday, so I'm really excited. And you guys can see some of Garrett's fantastic artwork if you come and check out my stream.
Oh, yeah. You should do that.
Yeah.
And also, damn it, Jocelyn, now I need to update the freaking TGI graphics and listings on the A-Move site. Thanks.
So terrible. I know.
How dare you switch a time and make me do stuff? You can,
I asked.
yeah, but it just hit me now that I need to update that stuff.
It's not my fault, dude. I gave you like weeks of warning.
You can follow me on Twitter, being bad at my job of hosting a website and doing podcasts at Garrett Art. You can find my graphic design work over at nomoonart.com. And you can hear me talking a lot about Heroes of the Storm over on Into the Nexus with Kyle Ferguson every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Lots of hero stuff to talk about right now. Huge rollout of new content coming very soon. Don't forget to check out our sponsors, doghousesystems.com, where you can use the code TAC to not only support the show anytime you make a purchase from doghousesystems.com, but you will also get a free 120 gigabyte solid state drive added to your gaming rig. So make sure to use that code. We thank them for their support. We thank you for listening. And until next time, job's done.
Job's done.
Job's done.
Yes! Oh, I just died. Damn it.